beginning a new year, and James, we're starting a new year, and every new year, people have resolutions. And a resolution is a firm decision that you are going to do something or not do something moving into the new year. And pretty much every January, we see churches are filled, gyms are filled, but by February, things start dwindling off. And every time we make these resolutions, we never follow through on them. Reason why we're not following through on them, James, is because we're not feeling the pain.
Or embracing the pain.
Yes, embracing the pain. We're not embracing the pain that is causing us to make that firm decision, that firm resolution, that this year is going to be my year. This is going to be my year that I'm going to change. You can't change. You can't do that unless you embrace the pain of what is causing you to change.
Yeah, one way we do it at Orange Rose is you always you relish in your failure. Mm-hmm. I never really understood that. It seems so negative. Who relishes in their failure? What does that mean?
James, it means exactly that, embracing the pain. Okay, if you just look at your failure and you actually say to yourself, you know what, I failed, big deal. You're going to continue to do the same thing over and over again, which is insanity. But if you truly sit down and truly embrace the pain of that failure, look at all the work, all the effort you put in. Look at everything that went into this situation, and you came out and you failed. If you truly feel that, then you're also going to be looking at the lesson, because each failure, there's a lesson behind it.
And why we just make a resolution? Did we do the hard work? Did we take our why seriously?
Well, that's exactly true, James. Again, that's the pain, right? The opportunity. It's here. How does that feel? Okay, if I didn't put hard work into it and I failed, guess what? Guess what I'm going to feel then? Where the pain is going to come? Opportunity missed. An opportunity missed that I may never get that opportunity back. And how could I have been so stupid? How could I have been so naive? How could I have not? Why did I not? If I just put in a little extra work, I would have actually come out successful. Mm. That's relishing in your pain. That's really relishing in your failure, because then you're going to look at, that's why I said there's a lesson behind that. When you really look at that, you're going to get that lesson and you're going to go forward. Now you're going to make a resolution, but you're going to make an action plan with the resolution, right? Because you have, okay, this is what I learned, so I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to have an action plan that is going to keep me on target to follow through on my resolution. Because my resolution is coming not from a new year, but my resolution is coming from tremendous amount of pain. And that I don't ever want to feel that again.
But we're in a culture that we don't have to feel the pain. We sedate it. We give up our passion. So let's go to the church. Why is the church so filled on New Year's Day and breaks off? It's a novelty idea, right? Why should we go to church, right? Why are we going to church?
Why are we going to church, James?
That's why I was wondering. I don't know why people do,
Because we're all spiritual creatures. We're all created in a spiritual. We have a spirituality. We have a physical. We have a mental. We're all spiritual. Okay. So we decide. So we look at. So it makes logical sense, right? When we come off our new year, we say, you know what? Okay. Pretty much what all this comes to is we're going to make ourselves a better person. Right. This year, that's the thing. Okay. I'm going to make a better person. I'm going to make myself a better person. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to feed myself spiritually, because we're all spiritual. We really are. There's nothing wrong with that. That's who we were created to. So obviously it's just logical that I'm going to feed my spirituality. So I'm just going to go to church. But I don't take the time to really get to know myself and who am I spiritually? Maybe I'm not. So I might go to a Catholic church and I might not be Catholic. Or I might go to a missionary church and I might not be missionary. That's not who I am. So that's the thing. We don't take our time to actually realize who we are spiritually. So we just go to a church because it's a good thing to do, right? But we don't get that feeling that we're actually looking for. We don't get that feeding that we're actually looking for, because we're not at the right place. We're not at the place where we belong on a spiritual level. Well, same thing with the exercising, okay? So I'm going to be a better person, so I'm going to go to the gym. Gyms are filled this time of year too, right? So that it just makes logical sense that I need to go. I need to exercise on a daily basis, so I'm just going to go to the gym. Makes logical sense, right? But you miss the fact, okay, what is your body type and how do you respond to exercise? Perhaps you, like somebody may, your best friend may love jogging. You might not like jogging. So every time you're going to the gym every morning for the first, month of January, you're punishing yourself. That's what you're feeling. You're actually punishing yourself because you're not going to do something you enjoy. Maybe you don't enjoy lifting weights, but that's what you got to do to get in shape. Instead of taking the time to figure out, okay, what am I going to do to exercise? What's best for me? And it all goes back to the fact that every year we're saying we're going to be a better person. What does that mean?
Are we being a better person for ourselves, or are we being a better person for people around us?
Well, first of all, what does that mean, being a better person? Second of all, who said you need to be a better person? Is it because you have everyone around you saying that you're being bad? Is that why? Or is it exactly, are you being a better person for yourself? So, first of all, what does that mean? Second of all, who says you have to be a better person? That's the relishing in your failure. What has brought you to this point to say that you want to be a better person going into the new year? Obviously, you've had some failures this year. Perhaps it was relationships. Perhaps it was a career. You've had some failures, but you're not embracing those failures. Instead, you're just going in, I'm just going to make myself a new person this year. Without a plan, that's not going to work. February comes, you're going to say, I ain't going to church today. It's too cold.
Well, it's hard work, isn't it?
What?
Well, at least getting out of bed on Sunday morning would probably be hard work when you can sleep in.
If you're not
going to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning is hard work.
If you're not doing what you need to do, yes, it is.
Or is it you just said need to do, or is it something you want to do?
Well, that's exactly what I said, James. If it's something you want to do, then it's not going to be hard work.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something you need to do, you're going to feel every time you sit in the pew, listen to the pastor, you feel like you're punishing yourself. Mm-hmm. That's because you don't belong there. Every time you go to the gym and you're working out 90 miles an hour, you feel like you're punishing yourself. That's because that's not the proper exercise for your body.
Well, somehow we have this idea that when we go to the gym, we're going to get immediate results too.
Yes, we also like that. That's also why it only lasts us 30 days.
We like fast food.
We do. We like the pill in the bottle. Mm-hmm. We want, again, because we want it now, but the thing of it is, what exactly is it that you want now?
Yeah, change is a very slow process.
You didn't get where you were today. You're not going to get to where you're going tomorrow. You're not. Because again, you didn't become the person you are today overnight. It was a process. Mm-hmm. You're not going to undo or grow into the person you want to be tomorrow. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's a process, but it really comes with a plan. Mm-hmm. And a why. Why do you need to do this? Why do you want to become a better person? And it really comes for the fact it needs to come for yourself. You want to become a better person because of yourself, which goes back to relishing in your failure.
So you're not saying not to make resolutions beginning of the year?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just saying that you're setting yourself up for failure again and again. Whenever year comes and you make a resolution and by January, by February, you're done. You haven't made it through. You're setting yourself up for failure. But every year you're going to make another resolution. So are you making the resolution? Is that really a desire that you want, or is it just you're making a resolution because everybody does it? So yeah, I'm not saying don't make resolutions. I'm saying make resolutions with plans, with the follow through.
Yeah, and that starts before the new year.
Exactly.
There's some relishing in pain and accepting the pain. It's taking inventory of last year.
It is. It is.
And it's actually facing the whole hard truth. Mm-hmm. You're not in shape.
No.
You're having a hard time breathing.
Right.
And do you want that to change?
Mm-hmm. That's another thing it comes down to is the fact, again, do you really want to? Do you really want to? Because that's the thing. When you have your why, then you're also going to really have your want to.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why am I doing this? So then you're going to have your want to. So then that's going to be changing to exactly what you said, getting out of bed every Sunday morning to go to church. It's not going to be hard work because you're going to want to get out of bed to go to church. Mm-hmm. Going to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's not going to be hard work because you're going to want to because you're doing it for you have your why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been seeing on Facebook, and that's why I asked you the question. People are just, throwing out resolutions and saying, why do it? It's all fake, and and it never really was fake. It is really good at the end of the year to reflect back, and then because you're changing every year is a progression. We're all in process of personal growth. So why throw out the baby with the bathwater?
Okay, what do you mean by that, James? Expand that on that.
Well, the resolution. Don't throw it out. Just plan. It's not a bad thing to do to make a resolution going into next year.
Right. So you actually said that people are saying it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So so why would people say it is?
I don't know. I just saw everybody's New Year's resolutions are overrated. They're I saw a number of posts that way that they're not real, and exactly what you just said. You see it every year. People go to the gym, and then in February they're all gone.
Yeah,
and the church pews are empty again. So it's easy to be cynical about making resolutions because nobody's following through.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy to get. I just think that's a very judgmental statement. What I mean, I'm not talking about cynical. I'm talking if you're throwing out the resolutions, I feel that that's a very judgmental statement. Mm-hmm. You're making a huge judgment. I'm not talking to you person. I'm talking if you're bashing resolution.
Right.
Because why you're bashing resolutions is because you follow that path. And exactly, you're one of those that when February, you're done. And so now you're just bashing it.
Because it didn't work for you.
Because it didn't work for you, exactly. So now you're just bashing it. You're bashing everyone else. Where the reason why it didn't, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you don't have a plan, an action plan along with your resolution. So this year I'm going to do this. Well, how am I going to do this? And how am I going to keep myself? Another part of that is keeping yourself accountable. That's another part, okay? So that you can look at, so you're planning at the end of December of 2022, you can look back and say, okay, January 1st of 2022, I made a resolution that I'm going to, you can fill in the blanks, however it is, okay? This is what I'm going to do. This is my year because this is your year. That is what I'm telling you. This is your year. 2022 is your year that your resolutions can become a reality. You can see in December 2022, you can actually look back and see your progress of whatever you said, January 1st, this year I'm going to do whatever it is. Or I'm not going to be whatever it is. You can, in December 22, look back and see, hey, I became successful. And here's the thing of how this all works, this resolution thing of how it all works, okay? So if I say, let's just say that this year I'm going to work on I'm going to watch my attitude this year, okay? I'm going to be keeping my attitude in check because one of our corners that we have in Orange Rose Services is attitude is everything. So this year I'm going to make a resolution that I'm going to keep my attitude in check, okay? That's not a bad resolution to make. Actually, that's a really good one to make, right? But come January, okay, so now it's cold. Come February, I'm going into, it's continuing to be cold. This time I'm going to be tired of the winter. Come March, okay, now I'm really sick of winter. And winter is still here. Guess what's going to happen? My attitude's going to come. Unless I have a plan, unless I have an action plan of how am I going to, first of all, what are my specifics I'm looking for in my attitude? And what am I going to do? So that in December of 2022, I can look back and say, you know what? One thing I saw dramatically change this year was my attitude. which is a huge milestone for me because I've always had a really bad attitude. Guess what? If I can change my attitude this year, think of what I can do next year and the following year. Now I can start imagining and dreaming of the person that I truly want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It all does start with the resolution, but your resolution has to have a follow-through. Has to have a follow-through, has to have a plan, has to have a why. Why do I want to change my attitude? Because of those around me? No, that's not good enough. Because you know what? That's going to get me to March if I'm lucky. It has to be for myself.
So do you factor in, is it realistic? The realistic. In other words, are my resolutions realistic?
That would definitely be a part of the thing you have to factor in.
I can make a resolution that I'm going to be in a rock band. And I can't sing worth anything.
Doesn't matter. I mean, again, that's why you would have a follow-through action, right?
So the question is, how do you measure it?
That's exactly my point, James. If you have a plan of action, right, you're going to measure it along the way. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. That's also going to keep you from exactly being unrealistic so that at the end of December 2022, you don't feel like a failure.
Mm-hmm. And you're not relishing that you weren't in the rock band this year.
Okay, help me understand.
In other words, on a realistic resolution, we all have dreams, and on a realistic revolution is I'm going to be in a rock band. Well, there's no way you're going to be able to do that. Because if you put the plan in, you'll stop it before it ever happens.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's why you have a plan of action. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because when you talk about unrealistic, James, is the fact that, okay, that can also look at the fact, I can look at it as being unrealistic. Okay, so I'm going to go to church every year. Every day this year, I'm going to go to church, right? January, I'm going to church. By February, I'm doing off. Okay, I can say, you know what? That was just unrealistic. I was, So you can also use it as a crutch. Mm-hmm. That's an unrealistic goal. Mm-hmm. When reality, it's not an unrealistic goal. You're just, again, you're using it as a crutch. Or I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to work out. I'm going to be in shape, right? By the end of January, you're like, I need my sleep. That was an unrealistic. I can't accomplish it. So I don't really think, again, if you have a resolution, you have a plan of action, the unrealistic isn't even going to come into play.
And also if you know your why.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you follow that path, the unrealistic isn't going to come into play, because we can also say that we had resolutions, they were just unrealistic. So we give ourselves a pass. When reality is they weren't unrealistic. We just didn't want to see them through.
Well, Nancy, we're asking our audience now to email us their resolutions.
Yes, and what is your email address, James?
My email address is James@orangeroseservices.com. We hope this podcast gets you fired up and you will see results on your follow through this year, and it won't be a disappointing year. Because we at Orange Rose Services believe that the best is yet to come. Every year is an opportunity to continue to grow upon yourself and see real change, not only in yourself, but the people around you and the world. So our call to you is, let's get out there and change the world.
One person at a time. Exactly.